Hi, welcome to our vlog, the Info Spot, Occupational Therapy for Student Veterans. My name is Biz, and I'll be your host for today's topic of personal organization and life role balance. Joining us today is my fabulous co-host, Brooke. We are both occupational therapy students at CSU or Cleveland State University. Occupational therapists now work to help all people of all ages and abilities regain independence, engagement, and participation in activities that they need and or want to do in their everyday lives. Activities can be anything from brushing your teeth to playing a leisure sport to managing finances or even sleeping. In addition, occupational therapists help people regain the ability to successfully carry out meaningful and important roles such as being a spouse, father, mother, worker, or even a student. Today, we will be focusing on the skills that are needed to make you successful at being a student and engaging in schoolwork. Today's topic, personal organization and life role balance, is an incredibly important area to address and is a vital skill to being a successful student. In order to keep up with and meet due dates, projects, exams, and manage class schedules, a student must have proficient organizational and time management skills. We will discuss a wide range of organizational tips and techniques that include time management and setting goals in order to achieve life role balance and find success as a student. Each person is unique in his or her needs, and some techniques or interventions may work better than others. Please keep this in mind throughout our vlog today and know that it is a trial and error process in order to discover which techniques work best for you. So, as stated before, every person is unique in his or her organizational skills and techniques as a student, and being a student veteran is no exception. Different from the transition civilian college students may be facing, the transition of a student veteran from the military to college can be a challenging adjustment. Balancing schoolwork and classes with work, relationships, free time, and other responsibilities can be a juggling act that is difficult to manage. In the military, there may have been an ordered schedule for waking, meals, work, and free time, and a daily rhythm is quickly set for you. As a student, you are now given the choice to create your own schedule and are given the new responsibility to ensure that work shifts and other events don't conflict with classes. In addition, you must carve out an adequate amount of time to complete schoolwork or study for exams. On top of it all, you must take into consideration other responsibilities you may have, such as house maintenance tasks or providing care to family members or friends. This time juggling act may feel overwhelming when first transitioning from the military to college and at times almost impossible. Today, Brooke and I are here to provide resources and organizational techniques on time management to make this transition easier and ultimately create a healthy life role balance as a student veteran. We're going to start off today with the physical workspace environment, one of the most important keys to success in organization. Due to current COVID-19 precautions, many college courses are offered in a hybrid format in which some classes are held online and some are in the classroom. Therefore, it is so important to create a designated study space for online learning and completion of schoolwork. Make sure the space is well lit. Natural light is an added bonus for a mood booster, and it is clear of any distractions such as a TV or windows overlooking busy areas. Create a comfortable learning space equipped with a table, top height, and a chair that provides good back support. The table should be clear of clutter and only hold the items necessary for learning and studying. Try to limit the number of items as much as possible to reduce any distractions. Cell phone usage, such as text messaging, calls, emails, or use of social media, is a common distraction among students. Eliminate this distraction during class or study hours by putting your phone on silent and/or hiding it from view. Lastly, a nearby reliable power source is suggested for computer or laptop charging while you work. We have talked a lot about physical barriers to studying to remove from one's environment. In contrast, now let's discuss some items that students have found to be motivational or conducive to their study space. First, a large desk or wall calendar that includes due dates of assignments, exams, and special mandatory class events. Some students have found it extremely beneficial to create a calendar that includes only school dates and a separate calendar for personal dates like doctor's appointments, birthdays, celebrations, etc. By reducing that amount of visual information onto one calendar, students have found that the level of stress he or she experiences is not as great when reading his or her calendar. And aside, if you do choose to have those two separate calendars, one for personal life and one for school, ensure that none of the personal events or appointments overlap with class time or events. Next, a simple clock. helpful when studying and trying to avoid looking at one's phone or laptop. Use this clock to incorporate study breaks that are necessary to your success in learning. For example, study for 30 minutes and take a 10-minute break. During this break, try to leave your study space and move around. Physical activity will help keep the blood moving and keep you stimulated and awake. The length and frequency of study breaks are unique to each person. As mentioned before, finding what works for you is a trial and error process. Thirdly, a simple to-do list. Creating a to-do list of tasks that must be completed that day can be an easy way to stay organized and reduce stress. Prioritize assignments or tasks that must be completed that night. This will reduce the number of items on your to-do list with the goal of focusing your mind on what needs to be accomplished while squashing feelings of being overwhelmed by your various responsibilities. And lastly, a vision board. A vision board is a collage of words and images that represent an individual's goals or plans for the year with the intention to inspire or motivate. Creating a vision board for one's personal goals for the year can enhance personal organization and life role balance. I'm going to show you an example here of my own personal vision board. As you can see, I have added motivational quotes. So I have stress is hard, staying determined is hard, choose your hard. Kind of just to look up to when I'm studying or working on things. Up here I have, or down here I have AOTA, which is the American Occupational Therapy Association, because I want to one day give back to my community by becoming a part of the team of volunteer leads in this organization. I have self-care and mental health over here because that's a goal for my personal health and well-being. I have Starbucks up here because that's a weakness of mine. I plan to spend less of my money here due to my financial budget for the year of 2021. I have the words get up. It represents my desire to step out of my comfort zone and building new relationships. And lastly, right over here, I have OT for occupational therapy or an occupational therapist. And that's what I desire to become in my career by the end of the year. And so you can see how I am striving to create balance in my life and setting a goal in various areas. I had like mental health, I had with my relationships, I had my career, I had my volunteer hours in the community. It helps to create that life role balance and also gives you a piece of motivation in your workspace. So this will also lead us into our next technique for personalization, which is setting goals. But before we head into this next technique, I would like to ask my dear co-host about her workspace environment. Now, Brooke, after working with you on several projects, I know you are a fantastic student. What does your study space look like? Please share your secret to success.
Thank you, Biz. So when COVID first started, I did not have a good study space at all. I used to just sit on the couch and study, or I would sit in bed. And I realized that that was not a good way to go. I couldn't spread my stuff out. And also, like, typically when I lay in bed, I'm trying to go to sleep, or when I'm sitting on the couch, I'm trying to relax. So my mind automatically went to that. So it was a lot harder for me to focus. So now I just sit at my regular kitchen table, but I make sure I keep everything clear besides the things that I need, and maybe like a glass of water. So that way, if I just need to take a quick little break and take a drink, I can do that. So that includes, I have a bunch of pens and pencils, so that way I never have to get up and grab one. I have just my notebook with all of my notes that I need to do for the day. I love making to-do lists. One technique that I do is an ABC list, and that really helps me prioritize what I need to do. So the A is the most important things that need to be done immediately, and then a C is something that maybe can be done later in the week, and if I have time that day, I'll do it. And then B is something, they have tasks on there that I do after A. So try to get it done the same day, but it's okay if it's pushed off till tomorrow. Then I also have a planner, so that way I can see what I'm doing throughout my day. It really helps me keep myself organized. But that's all I have on here besides my laptop. So that way I don't get too cluttered, and I feel really good about the things that I have available to me right away.
Wow, thank you, Brooke. I applaud you. You just re-enhanced some of those principles I talked about of having that awesome workspace environment free of clutter and to be conducive to learning.
They really work, I will say, because before, even in undergrad, I feel like I used to just have myself cluttered, and that just wasn't the way to go. And then making sure that you have that right environment that isn't going to be distracting or make you sleepy, and it just makes you more alert. Another thing I have, which I totally forgot to mention, a candle. So that way, because I have anxiety, and so when I like smell things, it makes me feel more calm. So I always like to have a little candle off to the side too.
Absolutely. I think that's a great thing to add too. If you have something that calms you down or brings you peace, especially when you start getting stressed or overwhelmed, including that in your workspace environment would be key. And everyone's workspace environment is unique, just as Brooke went on to show. She has her unique things that you just got to find what works for you. So it's a trial and error process, like I said. But I do want to go off of what you said about the ABC list and go into our next technique, because I love that idea of an ABC list with prioritizing and setting goals. Thanks for sharing, Brooke. So setting appropriate goals, identifying barriers to goals, and recognizing time wasters are skills that are super necessary for good time management. Before you begin to set any goals, first take the time to reflect on how you spend your time in a typical 24-hour day. Completing a time geography diary for a typical weekday may be helpful in order to properly examine your daily schedule for time wasters or dominating activities. I'm going to show you really quick what a time geography diary looks like, because I did not know either until I took a class on all about time management. Let me just share my screen really quick. Alrighty. This is what a time geography looks like. And you can choose any 24-hour time period. What works best is typically just a typical work day or weekday where you have a balance of like work, school life, anything else. And you go through that day, and then a day later you reflect back on each hour, or even throughout that day, you can write down what you're doing within each hour time period. You can say with whom, where you are, how you feel if you want to, but it's more just what are you doing is what we want to focus on here. And basically what that time geography does, it can help you find these time wasters, and they can range from hours spent browsing online or excessive cell phone usage to like Netflix binge watching, or even some like just unproductive time periods. So you can find this time geography diary template by just Googling that. They're pretty easy to find, to complete, or you can create your own. They're very simple. This activity can also help you recognize any life imbalances or roles in your life that are consuming majority of your time. So you may look on there and see that a lot of your time is just consumed by, you have too much work. You're putting too much effort into school. So remember that it is not healthy for every minute of your day to be productive. Make sure you do have some adequate you time, or time in which you relax, not time that you're spent maybe working a job or working on schoolwork or caregiving for your providing care to your friends or family members. Make sure you have that you time. After identifying time wasters and activities that may be dominating your daily routine and causing life imbalance, as I said, that maybe that excessive Netflix binge watching, it is now time to create realistic and attainable goals with the intention of using that time wasted or time used to participate in unhealthy activities to reach your new goals. Starting with smaller goals that may be easily achieved, such as completing a smaller assignment due by the end of the week, may be recommended before setting larger goals. This will give you a confidence boost and motivation that may be necessary to strive to attain those larger goals. Also, prioritize assignments based on due date and workload. Don't waste your time on projects that are due much later and risk not completing assignments due at a closer date. In contrary, make sure you start projects that do have a heavier workload and require more time to complete earlier to ensure that you do have enough time to complete before the due date. There are two models for goal setting that I want to quickly describe today that have been reported to be relevant and successful for student veterans. The first one I'm going to talk about today is the SMART model, and I'm going to show you really quick a diagram of what this looks like. Share my screen one more time here. Alrighty. So here we have the SMART model, which is a setting for goals. This model is popular among all various populations, not just students. For example, we as OTs are recommended to use this model when writing goals for our future clients. So it can be used by anyone, really. The SMART model is an acronym that's used to quickly check that your goals are specific, which make the goal clear. What do you want to accomplish? Measurable. How will you know when it is accomplished? Determine how you will measure success in achieving your goal. Achievable, make sure your goals are attainable and reasonable. Think, how can this goal be accomplished? Realistic, is this goal worthwhile? Is it a priority? Don't set crazy expectations for yourself. Also, consider barriers that may obstruct your ability to reach your goal and if you have access to the necessary resources. Again, take into consideration due dates and workload. And lastly, time bound. When can I realistically achieve this goal? Set a date limit for achieving your goal, making sure this is also a realistic time period. So I'm going to move on to our second goal setting model that can be used to formulate and examine the quality of your goals. And it is called the Carver system, CARVER, another acronym. The Carver Time Management System is actually a system that the Navy SEALs and Army Special Forces use to prioritize tasks, or in our case, goals. This is a system that a student veteran may already be familiar with or may have even received training for. The main purpose behind this system is to examine goals objectively in order to prioritize which are most important, taking into account the easiest and those which produce the greatest reward. A goal is separated into 6 different aspects and ranked from 1 to 5. After ranking each concept, the ranks are summed up and the goal with the highest sum is prioritized first, and so on. The acronym CARVER is used to remember each of the 6 various aspects to rank the task or goal. A quick side note here before I explain each aspect. I have tweaked the description of each aspect in relation to school tasks, but this is a system that can be used for prioritizing numerous different things. This system can be used for any type of goal, like personal, social, work-related, military-related, etc. So C is for criticality. It gauges the importance of a goal or task. When is the due date of the assignment and what is the workload involved? Does the assignment have to be completed immediately or can it be put off till next week? A higher ranking implies that tasks must be done sooner rather than later and vice versa. A for accessibility. Are the resources necessary to complete the assignment or goal readily available? A higher ranking implies that the resources are easy to reach or available at hand. R for return. What will be the reward or return after the task or goal is completed? In terms of school, how much weight or how many points is the assignment or exam in the overall class grade? A higher ranking implies a greater weight or number of points toward the overall grade. V for vulnerability. How long will the task or goal take to complete? A higher ranking implies that the assignment or task can be completed quickly with available resources on hand. E for effect. What will be the overall effect once the task or goal has been accomplished? This is slightly different than return. What is the personal impact? Will the assignment aid in your personal or intellectual growth? A higher ranking implies a greater impact. R for recognizability. Finally, is the task clear and concise? Do you have all the information necessary for the assignment to be completed quickly and effectively? Vague projects or projects that take extensive background research may take more time. A higher ranking implies a more clear and concise task that can be completed quickly and effectively. For more information on the system, you can visit author and veteran Michael Anthony's blog on the internet. All right, so now Brooke, have you used either of these goal setting models? Please describe your experience or any other suggestions you have toward making a goal.
So I've never used the Carver system, but I really like it. And I think it's something that I may have to include into my day to day, especially with, we have field work coming up. So I feel like that will be really helpful for me for field work. So I have used SMART goals. Like Biz mentioned, we are taught that in OT school because that's what they'd like us to use for our clients. I really like using SMART goals. It gives me a chance to kind of lay everything out and I'm able to see what I need to do and what I want to accomplish. One piece of advice that I have, it does take a while to become good at goal writing. So when you first start, you have all of these astronomical goals and, they may not always be super realistic in the time frame that you give yourself. So make sure that you give yourself some forgiveness when you're doing it and make sure that it is something that is realistic and achievable because it is such a bummer when you do make a goal and you're not able to achieve it because you don't have the resources necessary, you don't have the time allotted for it. So just making sure that you do make it realistic for yourself.
Absolutely, Brooke. Thank you so much for sharing about your experience. And I do want to emphasize what you said there about it being be easy on yourself. It is a trial and error process, and the more goals you make and create for yourself using, say, one of these models, the easier it will get to make realistic and attainable goals that you can achieve. All right. And lastly, to wrap up our vlog session today, we will briefly discuss technology that is available and easy to use and effective for personal organization and time management. So I'm going to begin by talking about a few free apps that are available and can be downloaded on an Apple iPad, laptop, or iPhone. My Homework Student Planner. This app is a digital student planner that helps students stay organized by tracking classes, homework, tests, and projects. The app will alert students to upcoming due dates and send homework reminders and includes a weekly and monthly calendar display. The app supports time, block, and period-based schedules and can sync across other platforms. The app has a basic and premium version. The basic version is free and includes all those features that I described, while the premium version is about like $4.99 per year, which is not too much and allows the students to attach files to homework and classes and excludes any ads. Trello is the next app we will talk about. Trello is accessible to iPad or iPhone and provides a visual tool for organizing your school, work, and personal life. With Trello, you can add checklists, labels, and due dates to larger projects and customize simple boards, lists, and cards. Trello is very useful for large projects that can be broken down into smaller projects. In graduate school, I have found that it is great for group work. Thirdly, Focus Booster. Focus Booster is a popular app for time management that has been around for the past 12 years. The app can be downloaded on the desktop or mobile device. The app is based off the Pomodoro technique, which I just learned after discovering this app, which is used to improve productivity and balance goals. This technique is a popular time management method that involves alternating focused work sessions with frequent short breaks to stave off mental fatigue and promote sustained concentration. This technique involves 5 steps. Create a to-do list and grab a timer. Set your timer for 25 minutes and focus on a single task until the timer rings. When your session ends, mark off 1 Pomodoro and record what you completed. Then enjoy a 5-minute break. After 4 Pomodoros or work sessions, take a longer, more restorative 15 to 30-minute break. For more tips and details about this time management method, visit todoist.com. Productivity Methods Pomodoro Technique. The app is a simple Pomodoro timer that monitors time, estimates realistic deadlines, and allows time for personal goals to improve productivity and balance goals. The app is free for 20 Pomodoro sessions per month, but there are other versions that offer a greater array of features. Fourthly, the Self-Control app. This is a free app for Apple Mac desktops to help you avoid distracting websites, mail servers, or anything else on the internet by letting you block your own access. You can set a period of time to block for and even create a blacklist. Access to these websites will be denied until the time restraint is up. Brooke, do you have an app that you use to manage your time or help with your personal organization?
Yeah, so first off, I love the app that you just said, the self-control app. I think that that's a great way to reduce distractions. So that may be something that I need to try out. One thing that I do use, and I've been using it for the past year or so, is Trello. So I think it's a really great visual to break things down, like Biz said, into smaller tasks for you to complete. One way that I do it, so I have 4 like little tabs, which if you go in Trello, you'll know what I'm talking about. But it's one tab is backlog, one is upcoming, one is in progress, and then one is finished. And so in the backlog, that's all the assignments that I put in for the next 2 weeks that are coming up. Due soon, I do projects that are due within 3 days. In progress, just for me to see what I've already started. And then finish, it's just a great way to kind of feel accomplished and be able to see the things that I have gotten done. So I really recommend Trello. It's super easy to use, super user friendly. So, and it's free. So it's nice, really easy to sign up.
Awesome. Thank you so much for sharing your personal experience with Trello, Brooke. I would like to end this vlog showing a great resource provided by the Department of Veteran Affairs. If you venture to the VA's website located underneath Veteran Training, there is a free educational life coaching program titled Moving Forward, which I will show you here really quick what it looks like. Alrighty, here we are on moving forward. And this online program consists of 25 modules that help veterans overcome life challenges by teaching problem solving skills necessary to handle stressors in a healthy manner. This program is designed to be especially helpful for service members, veterans, and their families, but is open to the general public. Common challenges addressed in this program include managing stress, balancing school and family, relationship problems, coping with physical injuries, financial difficulties, and adjustment issues. So as you can see, I found this resource to be incredible that the VA provides, but you have a drop down bar here and you can look at the different modules that you can click through. And they're really just awesome. They show, they have a lot of quotes and personal stories from other veterans. Alrighty, well, that is all I have today for you all. Thank you so much for coming. Thank you to my co-host, Brooke, for joining me today. And thank you all for tuning into my vlog session. I hope you have found this information to be useful in helping build better time management skills to enhance your personal organization and attain a new life balance. If you would like additional resources or services, the Veteran and Military Success Center at CSU is there to help. And remember, the techniques for personal organization discussed today may work well for some, but not all. Keep in mind that every person is unique and it is a trial and error process to discover what works best for you. I hope I have provided a technique that you find effective, and good luck on your journey to success.